of social values that he or she performs on their body than a contemporary dancer. You know, the upright posture says something. You know, the ability to fall into the floor and release says something different about hierarchy, about what you consider important about bodies. And so they're going to be different.
I'm really happy that you reached us, despite of you.
A bit Russian.
Yeah. But we started with this introduction of yourself, just to see if we would like to say for you, please.
For ortiz, originally from Colombia. Since the last 10 years I'm living in Europe, so I'm just in Germany now in the past almost 2.5 years in Amsterdam. I'm probably soon moving with my family to Helsinki, hopefully for a long period. I have a background, I have a classical background, so I have a ballet school in my country, 8 years school, which is the academic school. Then I joined a company, ballet company in my country, 5 years. Then I decided to change style, so I changed to modern dance. So I joined a company which was a project Colombia, France.
A modern dance company.
A modern dance company in Colombia, France, which was very interesting. I joined the company for about 3 years. Then I made a break with dance about 2-3 years. About questioning what exactly I wanted to do. I was like, okay, it was nice and satisfactory, you know, like nice to be dancing ballet and with a modern company, but I felt that it wasn't enough. Then came that moment of, okay, how can I leave the country? But also because all my family is living abroad, so I was the last one of my family who left the country. And then I was, okay, where to go? So then I feel like, okay, there is like a strong string contemporary dance going on in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, in Brazil. So I was like, okay, what I was pointing there. But then came Germany first. Then, okay, whatever, I go to Germany to see what comes. And I spent like a year just walking, tracking along Germany, thinking around. Then I came to the school which was directed by Pina Bausch. So I spent 2 years there as a guest student. And then I get more closer to the contemporary dance and dance theater, you know, but still the Pina Bausch style, it wasn't enough for me still. Then until I joined a project with one of Sasha Ball's dancers. Well, that exactly it is. Then I get connected a lot with the flow work and kind of Sasha's work. That's what interesting. That's exactly it is. Then after this project, I kept on researching by myself, because I have the tools, I have the body, I have the knowledge, I have the experience, so let's go for it by myself. And then I did a couple of pieces for myself, but then I was like,
as a choreographer,
but then I was like, I think choreography is not for me at the moment. I really feel that through teaching, I think that through teaching, I really do the research. Through teaching, I feel the satisfaction. Through teaching, I find that I practice my beliefs, but I really believe on the what's important for.
So teaching is your issue now.
Yeah, I think at the moment, pretty much.
How do you define what you teach? If you have to put some kind of label over it, is it contemporary dance?
It's a good question, because I'm all the time working on my product. I call it my product. So I'm focusing into, okay, it's gonna be the teaching, the main issue. Beside comes to keep on dancing, and then comes to choreograph. But the main is to teach. So then every time I'm working on the product, you know, the concept, and marketing, and what exactly it is. But then what I really working at the moment is as a flow work, working a lot with the twistings, with the spirals and oppositions, a lot working with the spine. as a main, coming from the spine towards outside. Just in the very beginning, working this, the warming up, so I find it very important.
But I just there was a good point coming out of Fornier's talking. How important or how much do you value in your performer's life teaching students?
For me, what is
Yeah. Is it
for me as a
important? Do
teacher?
you find it important teaching as a performer?
Absolutely. Well, I think that I both choreograph and I teach, and I think I'm most interested in teaching. I'm most interested in teaching composition, and I'm interested, which has a lot to do with looking, assessing, critical thinking, learning to create movement vocabularies, and so choreography is an interesting thing to teach because it's really about mentoring. It's about choreographers finding their own unique voices and their own individual stories to tell, and then having a set of tools, choreographic tools, to be able to present those ideas to whatever audiences, audiences of 3 or 300, rooms as small as this to proscenium stages, or just as sort of a personal performance practice. So I think the teaching choreography also continues to help me look at things differently and keeps me honest. And my students challenge me. They challenge me about what work should be about what I should care about in my work, about what I should care about in their work, about how I can support them telling the stories they want without imposing a certain set of aesthetic values. I really like moving and big movement, and you can see that in my work. With some of my students, they're interested in the less is more. In some ways moving towards not moving towards stillness, moving towards conceptual work that deals a lot with images and less big dancing. And so I can encourage them to explore things on the body, and then I can also support them by not trying to sort of colonize them and saying, this is what's right. I can encourage them, and that's why it's nice for the third years to have done this big dancing piece, but I also need to be able to support them in what their vision is, where they are as artists, where they are as artists in their culture, what the culture they live in, and there's generational cultures in Estonia. 20 years since the independence and the sort of post-Soviet body, it's going to perform itself differently generationally. So the teaching is very important. I think it keeps me honest. I think you get stuck in a bubble, and the relationships I have with the students that I mentor, I teach, I think are really crucial. And really feed me.
Fornier, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, something.
You wanted to add? You can easily, just
something about the question. Well, I focus in the teaching technique, and I see through the teaching. I can't say I have such an extensive experience as a teacher. I have just, I can say, 4 or 5 years. But it's going constantly in a very good places, in a good academies, studios, constantly traveling. So that gives me experience, and that gives me through the teaching. Of course, I'm all the time analyzing. Of course, what I'm saying, how I'm doing it, is something similar that is something very nice to teach, to transmit. Every time what is happening immediately to